What's up? This is Ben with WODprep, and today we're going to go over Granite Games 15.2. It is an absolutely awesome workout, and I'm going to break down all the details, some techniques I really recommend, what you should do about this little MRAP in the middle, and then how should you finish the workout. We've got a lot of great stuff today. Really quick, before we move any further, make sure you go to WODprep.com, enter your name and email address, and I'm going to send you a bunch of free goodies. I have a competition checklist to make sure that you're prepared for your next CrossFit competition. I also have a lot more videos coming out about how to do things like double unders, chest to bar pull-ups, toes to bar, all that good stuff. So make sure you go in there. Like us on Facebook. I should have a link somewhere near this video. Make sure you like us on Facebook, follow me on YouTube, all that good stuff. All right, guys, let's dig right into it. So this workout, 15.2, if you don't know the intricacies of the workout, I'm not going to go over it right now. Just go to the Granite Games qualifier website and read all the rules. That's all that needs to be said about it. So first, starting off, how should we warm up for this competition? We're going to talk about the RX and the scaled kind of together, so don't really worry about which division you're in. I'll make a couple little adjustments as we move forward. So for a warm-up, lots of mobility, right? If we're doing a 1 rep max anything, we want to make sure that we're in the right positions for it. So I'd recommend T-spine mobility, right? Get a double lacrosse ball and really open up that spine. Make sure you smash your lats so that your receiving position, when you catch the barbell, open up your pecs, open up your lats, make sure you can receive that bar nice and strong, whether you're going to snatch or jerk, depending on which division you're in. And then obviously ankle mobility. A lot of people bail the snatch at the bottom because they're unable to sit all the way in that squat. They're not able to control themselves. Ankle mobility is going to help with that. And then obviously hips. If you're having issues getting under the bar, your hips need a little bit of work. So for a warm-up, if I were to do this, some coaches might recommend it differently. I really would obviously do maybe a little row, some bike in the beginning for 2 or 3 minutes, then hit 10 minutes of mobility, make sure I hit my problem areas a lot. And then I'm going to do 2 to 3 rounds of 10 double unders, 3 to 5 chest to bar pull-ups, 10 double unders, and then 3 to 5 toes to bar. So obviously this is if I was doing the RX division. If you're doing the scale division, you can maybe do 3 rounds of 10 double unders and 5 knees to above your hips, or whatever they call it, knee raises. So the reason I do this is, 1, this is going to get my blood pumping, and 2, it's going to help me practice my transitions. That is key. You want to make sure that you're practicing your transition from your rope to the bar, back to your rope, back to the bar. Okay, so if you practice these transitions, you're going to make sure that come game time, you're going to be able to flow very easily and smoothly throughout your gym. Also make sure, I don't think I mentioned it, make sure that you have chalk ready. This is a great time to put your chalk somewhere where you can easily walk by, grab it, chalk up, and place it down without wasting too much time. Because obviously you're going to want some chalk for those chest to bar pull-ups and toes to bar or the knee raises. Okay, so after I do a few rounds of warming up, practicing my transitions and stuff like that, obviously you're practicing your flow too. Now it's time to lift heavy, okay? I didn't see anywhere in the rules where you weren't allowed to warm up to nearly a 1 rep max. So basically, I treat this first 6 minutes as a gift. I would spend however long it takes. Maybe I'd probably take about 15 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes warming up to a 1 rep max snatch. Now, I wouldn't hit my 1 rep max attempt quite yet. Right as I felt like I was ready to hit maybe a new PR or hit a new 1 rep max, I would strip the weight off. I would start my video, do all the video thing if you're trying to qualify for the higher levels. I'd have my judge help me strip the weight, whatever, and then I'd start the clock. And then as soon as that clock starts, load all the weight back on the barbell, get ready to hit that last attempt. All right, so I would basically spend 20 minutes warming up that snatch, then right away get to hitting a 1 rep max. All right, so and this goes either way, whether you're doing the clean and jerk or the snatch. Build to a very heavy single, and then when you feel like you're about to hit your max for the day, be like, okay, time to start the clock, and then hit your max. All right, so here's a couple other techniques. Make sure you're doing whatever is comfortable, okay? So if power snatching is your thing, then do a power snatch. You don't have to do a full snatch. Any kind of snatch is okay. I don't think you're allowed to do a hang snatch. I didn't see that in the rules, but do whatever is comfortable within the confines of the rules. Same thing with the ground to overhead, guys. You don't have to do a full clean unless you have to, okay? So don't do a full clean unless you really need to. If not, power clean that sucker and then get the barbell over your head. If you're going to hit multiple attempts for this 1 rep max, which I highly recommend, here's about how I would do it. I would do your first lift at anywhere between 30 seconds to 1 minute after starting the clock. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit of time to load the barbell. That's why I have that buffer zone. Your next lift, I would do about 2 minutes later, okay? And hopefully that first lift, you hit a new 1 rep max. So then your second lift, you get to hit another 1 rep max. I basically do it every 2 minutes, but not. I repeat, this is probably the most important part of the whole freaking WODprep, okay? Do not do an attempt as the time is running out. Because guess what? If you hit or even miss a last attempt at 6 minutes, right? One, you didn't follow my directions and you didn't warm up to a heavy 1 rep max almost right before the workout. But two, if you make or miss that lift right at the 6 minute mark, great. You're going to be excited. You're going to be happy. But then you have to immediately go into that MRAP and you haven't left yourself any transition time. You haven't left yourself any breathing time. And it's going to hurt your score. Every rep counts down here. So make sure whatever you do, that last attempt is done somewhere before 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And then put the bar down, forget about it. Heck, if you hit your new 1 rep max and you don't want to hit it anymore at like 4:30, then I would take all the weight off your bar or take the weight down to the number you think you're going to start with down here. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. All right? So next, let's dig into the MRAP. All right. The theme for this MRAP, all right, for both divisions, smooth and steady, okay? So you do not want to take big breaks here. I don't want you knocking out huge sets if you have to take big breaks. 8 minutes is one of those like medium range workouts. It's not a sprint, but if you slow down, you're going to get past. So the theme here is smooth and steady. Focus on your breathing. Oh, that's my next point. Focus on your breathing, not counting. So many people, we're used to doing normal workouts where we have to count our own reps. You're going to have a judge, so do not count when you're doing your double unders. So many people hyperventilate or they even don't breathe because they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you do that, it's going to mess up your breathing pattern. You're not going to be able to control your breath and keep your heart rate down. And guess what? Every time you hit these double unders, heart rate's going to spike. You're going to blow up. All right? Focus on breathing. Keep your eyes forward. Try to take deep, steady breaths. And then your judge, who hopefully is good at counting, will be able to say, done, and let you know when you've hit that 30 reps. One thing I like to tell all my judges to do is just go like that every 10 reps. So they can be like 10, 20, okay? You can do that just so you know how many reps you have left. I just want you focusing on doing the double unders, not counting them. That is hugely important, guys. Next, when it comes to the chest bars, when it comes to the toes bars, or even the knee raises, small, quick sets. The knee raises for some of the scale division are probably going to be really easy, so just go hard on those, all right? That's going to be a lot more of a burner over here for the scale division, especially if the knee raises are easy. But if you start burning out, you can revert to small, quick sets. Now for the RX division, chest to bar pull-ups, yeah, I know there's going to be people that feel like they can knock out 15 chest to bars unbroken. I doubt many people will be able to keep that for all 8 minutes. So focus on small, quick sets. That way you can maximize your time on the bar. So me personally, I would probably start with the beginning. I'd do 6, 5, 4. All right, so I'd do 6, drop down, shake it out. Jump up, 5, drop down, shake it out, 4, and then right on that rope. I'm going to have that rope really close to the pull-up bar because you don't want to waste any time. The double unders, if you're good at them, should just be an annoyance. All right, they're going to smoke your shoulders a little bit. The most I'd really ever do is that 8-7, and that's going to be based off of feel. For me, toes to bar are easy. I love toes to bar, so I would probably go the 8-7 route. I would only need to do 2 sets, maybe even 10-5, depending on how I was feeling. I just want you to really focus on whenever you do drop off the bar, take 1 deep breath, shake out your arms, back on the bar. Don't sit there and walk around and find chalk. Have the chalk right there if you really need it, but mainly just focus on getting back on the bar. The more you can keep moving, the better. Heck, if it comes down to it, I didn't even write it down. If your chest to bars smoke you, then go to singles, right? Singles will take a really long time, but if your chest to bars are really hard to come by and you really want to do the RX division, then do singles. Jump up, hit that chest, and then as soon as you hit your chest, just let go and fall. Don't worry about that negative motion because that's what's going to blow up your arms. All right? Last, what should we do about that second snatch or ground to overhead? So, your first order of business is going to be to rest and recover. You've been going really hard through that 8-minute AMRAP. You're going to be exhausted. It's a tough workout, okay? Your first goal is going to be to breathe. Really deep breaths. I just want you to focus all of your energy on recovering. As you're recovering, you can start to really move around. Make sure you're shaking out your arms. Your arms, especially if you're doing the RX, are going to be very, very filled with blood. So make sure, loosen it out, shake it out, and breathe. Try to aim to attempt your first rep anywhere between 1 minute and 1 minute and 30 into that second set. So it should be, if you're doing a running clock like they recommend, like you have to, 15 to 15:30, you should hit that first rep, okay? It really will help, especially if you get your 1 rep max attempt somewhere done between like 4:30 and 5. You can even set the barbell close to this opening weight, and you can have someone on the side doing your calculations for you. I really recommend starting at about 70% of whatever you hit up here, okay? So whatever you hit up here, it's about 70% of your 1 rep max for the day. So hit 70%. If that seems too heavy when you're loading it up, you can go a little bit lower. But make sure you get that first rep in. The first rep's going to feel weird. It's going to feel terrible. Just hit it. Don't be afraid to do a power snatch or a power clean and jerk, okay? Even if your full snatch is better, after this workout, your shoulder stability and your core stability, right? So shoulders, double unders, chest to bar, core, toes to bar, gonna be smoked. So for a lot of people, if they don't have really good positioning, catching it all the way in that full squat snatch is gonna be really difficult, and they're probably gonna fail a bunch of reps because they won't have that stability down there. So instead, I really recommend doing a power snatch, maybe just to open up. Start with the power snatch where you catch it deep and then stand it up. And then as we start to increase weight, you can then do a full snatch or keep power snatching. This workout isn't going to really tax your drive and your explosion, so you might just be able to honestly rip the crap out of the bar, pop those hips, and power snatch this weight instead of having to rely on your core stability and shoulder stability all the way in the bottom. Okay, so that's just a thought. I haven't run it yet, but that's just something I'm really playing around with. So I'd recommend no more than 3 lifts, okay? And for a lot of people, it might only be 2 lifts. Here's what I recommend though. So minute and 30 in, I'd hit 70%. Then you're gonna go based off of feel. Add 10 pounds, add 15 pounds. It depends on how big a weight you're lifting. Don't lift again. Make sure you give yourself another 2 minutes, 90 seconds to 2 minutes rest, all right? And then your final attempt, so if you have a number in mind that you want to hit for that second attempt, your final attempt should fall somewhere between 18:30, 19:15. And then I really recommend, because there's going to be a lot of people who fail to some of these reps, and don't let that frustrate you. I really recommend at 19:45, so your last rep, just go for it. You know, if you have a number that you failed a couple times, try to go for that again, or maybe back it down a little bit. If you've been hitting all of your weights, then freaking go for it. You know, there's nothing wrong with getting one more lift in. Don't injure yourself. The big key down here, guys, don't get frustrated if you start missing reps. Okay, you're smoked. It's going to happen. If you miss a rep, brush it off and get back on the bar. But do not get back on the bar every 30 seconds. I see so many people, they fail a snatch, they fail clean and jerk, and they drop the bar and they're like, ugh, and they get back on it, right? That doesn't do anything. If it's a true 1 rep max, guys, especially because of how fatigued you're gonna be, brush it off, breathe, relax, and then make the next minute count, all right? This has been Ben with WODprep. This is Granite Games 15.2 A and B, or 15.2A, 15.2, I don't really know what it's called. This is a great workout. Go out, have some fun. Remember, like us on Facebook, check out WODprep.com, tag your friends. Last but not least, I have a free giveaway to give you. So if you tag your friend in this video and they like WODprep, guess what? I'm going to pick one person to mail them free wrist wraps. All right, guys, peace out.